Did the Prophet ﷺ celebrated his birthday during his lifetime? Then why should we do it now? Did the Sahabas celebrate the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ? Why should we do Milad al-Nabi? So
this is a very important question. Inshallah, this will remove many misunderstandings. First of all, the question of celebration. Some people think that celebration itself has nothing to do with Deen of Islam. They are so narrow-minded that they say every kind of celebration is not in Islam. They make Islam a very dry kind of religion. So they ask their children, they can't celebrate their birthdays, this is bid'ah. Celebrating birthday is not a bid'ah. Be free, be excited. I always celebrate birthday of my kids, my children, my grandchildren. Not my birthday. Of my kids, I celebrate. This is not absolute, is not a bid'ah. People are confused on the concept of bid'ah. Maybe not this time, time is short. Next time if you remind me, in next lecture, we will, in question answer session, just if you put a question on bid'ah, I will try to explain what bid'ah is and what is the misconception on this aspect. In next time we will take. Celebration is permissible, and again sunnah of Almighty Allah. More than 50% of Deen of Islam is based on celebrations. I'm giving you the concept of celebration. More than 50% of Deen of Islam, our sha'air and ibadat, they are celebrations. Let me start from very easy subject. Come to Hajj. The whole of Hajj is celebration. The whole of Hajj is, there is a house known as Kaaba. You make 7 circles around it, a tawaf. Whether you read anything or not, it is not compulsorily required from Sharia. If you can't read anything even, you just keep silent. You keep on reading Darood, you keep on reading Istighfar, you keep on reading Allah, Allah, you keep on reading Surah Fatiha or whatever you can recite. No condition. Even you don't recite anything. You have 5 circles against the Kaaba, this is your tawaf. So what kind of ibadah is this? The Allah who has already disconnected you with stones. The stones were thrown away from Deen. He is asking you to have 7 circles against the house built with stones. What is this? This is celebration of the practice of Sayyidina Adam and Ibrahim alayhi salam. He did this. You take your dress off. What is this kind of worship? Why necessarily? Why Allah requires you to change your dress and become naked head and put 2 chadars on your body? Why? What is the requirement of Allah? Is it any requirement of Allah? Is this His necessity? Or is this a condition for the worship? You don't worship, you do 5 times a prayer. Why there you are supposed to remove the normal casual dress and come in this dress? This is celebration of the dress of Sayyidina Ibrahim. You go on the 9th of Arafah, in Arafat. That is your Hajj. You are not necessarily required to perform any prayer. If there is no khutbah, if there is no nafil, no prayer, for example, extra other than the 5 times prayer, you have to be present there on 9th of Arafah, in that place. Just your presence on that specific place is Hajj. Why there and not in Brampton? You go to Makkah. Why don't you want to prefer, I will stay on 9th of Arafah in the Haram of Kaaba? Haram of Kaaba is lesser than Arafat? You prefer, I will stay in Haram of Kaaba. You are not performing Hajj. For Hajj you have to be in Arafah. Why? This is celebration of meeting of Hazrat Adam and Hawwa radiyallahu ta'ala anhum. They met on this day at this place. They are meeting. when they were separated, when they were coming down. So since this was a meeting place, the whole ummah till the day of judgment is celebrating their meeting. Nothing else. Then you come in Mina, you take pebbles, and for 3 days you hit the shaitan stone. Is there shaitan present today? Is shaitan coming there to see, don't do this, run away from here, as he did for Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam? No, nothing. Neither shaitan is there, nor you are in danger. Why? These are the pillars of stones. Why you are hitting and throwing the pebbles to that? This is just a celebration of the act of Sayyidina Ismail. Then you do sacrifice. What is sacrifice on that day? You want to know, I will do 1 day earlier. If you do the same sacrifice on 9th of Zil-Hijjah in Arafat, would that sacrifice be accepted? No. Sacrifice same animal for Almighty Allah, the same person. Why is not accepted? And why just on that specific day? Because you are celebrating the act of Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salam. Whole Hajj. Then you come to Kaaba and you start running between two mountains, Safa and Marwa. Is this any worship? If you can read anything, you may recite. If you don't know anything, you just remain silent. And when those specific pillars come, the green pillars, then you start running. You walk between Safa and Marwa, and when a specific place comes, in both sides, you start running. This jogging and running, this is you are doing jogging. Is this a worship? Jogging is a worship. In Allah's house, jogging and running, apparently it's against adab. But this is ibadah. Why? You are celebrating the act of Sayyidah Hajara. Why did she run? Because her kid Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam was thirsty. He was rubbing his feet there. And she ran to get water for him. Is there any problem of water with you? Tell me any sense, common sense. Is there any answer of intelligence, of common sense, of reason? So what is Hajj? Just combination of lot many celebrations. This is Islam's stance. Leaving everything away, come to 5 times pray. Have you ever thought what is the Salawatul Khamsa? All 5 times prayers are celebrations. All these prayers are 5 times celebrations. People don't know the reality of the ahkam and sha'air. Fajr prayer. Why Fajr prayer is 2 rak'ah? Why 2 rak'ah? And Zuhr and Asr 4 rak'ah. And Maghrib 3 cycles. And Isha again 4. Why is there any symmetry or reasoning? Yes. The Fajr 2 rak'ah of the Farz. Celebrate, this is a celebration of the 2 rak'ah of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam's. When his tawbah was accepted, he stood up and prayed 2 cycles of prayer for Allah. For gratitude, for thankfulness. So Almighty Allah said, your 2 rak'ah for my thankfulness. I will ask the last ummah of my beloved Prophet, they will celebrate your prayer till the day of judgment. So we are celebrating this day, Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam's 2 rak'ah. Then 4 rak'ah of Zuhr. When Nuh alayhi salam was saved from the Tufan, from that big event and flood, and he came at the mountain of Judi, it stopped. He prayed 4 rak'ah for thankfulness, gratitude. Almighty Allah asked us, celebrate my Nuh's prayer of 4 cycles. Then Sayyidina Ibrahim and Ismail, he prayed 4 rak'ah when the sacrificial animal was provided to them. So it is being celebrated by the Ummah of Holy Prophet, the 4 rak'ah of Asr. This was Asr time, when Sayyidina Ibrahim and Ismail slaughtered the animal. Then Maghrib 3 rak'ah of Fard. Where this 3 rak'ah came, neither 2 nor 4. Neither 2 nor 4. Where this 3 came out, Sayyidina Ayyub alayhi salam, he remained seriously ill for 24 years. And when he was cured, he was very weak. He stood up to pray in Allah's gratitude and Allah's thankfulness. And he intended to pray 4 cycles because there was no concept of odd numbers. Odd numbers. He wanted to pray 4 rakat. But he was so weak, when he finished 3, he couldn't stand up for 4th. He left the 4th, he sat down and he did salam. Almighty Allah said, although he did because of his weakness, now this was the time when he prayed. Now whole ummah will celebrate his 3 cycles. And the Isha prayer, this is celebration of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam sunnah. This is Holy Prophet. Our prayer is celebration. There is nothing wrong in celebration. There are many other things. Coming to whether Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself celebrated his birthday? Yes. Comes in hadith of Sunan Bayhaqi that Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam at that proper day, once he slaughtered 2 animals, called the people, made food, and distributed the food. That was a party, that he arranged a dinner for the people. On Holy Prophet this event, some scholars thought as if he performed his aqiqah. Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti refuted it. He said, Aqiqatu la tu'adu marratan saniya. Aqiqah is not permissible 2 times. When he was born, his grandfather Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib had already done his aqiqah. Then Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti replies, then what was this celebration that day? He says categorically, this was celebration of his Mawlid, birthday, to make sunnah for his ummah. Please write down the reference. I am quoting Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti, Hasanul Maqsid fi Amal al-Mawlid, and again Suyuti al-Hawi al-Fatawa, and Imam Salihi Subul al-Huda, and Imam Zurkani Sharhul Mawahib al-Dunya, and many other scholars. And he says Imam Ibn Hajar Asqalani was asked, Imam Hafiz Ibn Hajar, As-Su'ila Shaykhul Islam, Hafizul Asr Abul Fazl Ibn Hajar Asqalani an Amal al-Mawlid. Hafiz Ibn Hajar Asqalani was asked, what do you say about celebration of Mawlid? Imam Suyuti is quoting. He said, Imam Al-Hafiz Ibn Hajar Asqalani, the Shari of Al-Bukhari, the great muhaddis of the Ummah, he said, Kad zahara li takhrijuha ala aslin sabitin. The celebration of Mawlid is, according to me, established through a prophetic hadith sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Wa huwa ma sabata fi sahihain. He says, the first dalil is when Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came, another celebration sunnah. He came to Medina, anna nabiyya qadim al-Madina, فَوَجَدَ الْيَهُودُ يَصُومُونَ يَوْمَ عَاشُورَةٍ. He saw that Jews, they were fasting on the 10th day of Muharram. فَسَأَلَهُمْ. Holy Prophet asked him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why were they fasting on the 10th day of Muharram? فَقَالُوا هُوَ يَوْمٌ أَغْرَقَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ فِرْعَوْنَ وَنَجَّى مُوسَى وَنَحْنُ نَصُومُهُ شُكْرًا لِلَّهِ تَعَالَى. The Jews answered, this is the day we rejoice it because Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam was saved with his Bani Israel and the Pharaoh was drowned in the river of Nile. So we always celebrate this day. This is our day of Eid. Then Holy Prophet ﷺ said to companions, from today you also start fasting of the day of 10th of Muharram because we have better right to Musa alayhi salam as compared to the Jews. So he ordered the companions to celebrate the 10th of Muharram. This was before the Shahada of Imam Hussain. You understand? So he commanded the celebration of 10th of Muharram. So if he commanded to celebrate the day of Muharram, 10th of Muharram, for the sake of Musa alayhi salam, so what do we need further? And then Imam Suyuti says that the same way, the second dalil Imam Suyuti says that the Holy Prophet made celebration of his Mawlid this day himself the sunnah because he himself slaughtered 2 animals to make the sunnah for this ummah. so that they may celebrate and do sadaqat and the acts of happiness and excitement on the day of Holy Prophet. Because this is the biggest day when Almighty Allah blessed us, the whole mankind, by the birth of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know what is the day of Jummah? This Jummah, again celebration. Jummah is the day when Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam was born. Although his birth was in a different way, he was created, but just talking in the same terms of birth or creation, same thing. So this was the day when Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam was created. We would say his birthday. Holy Prophet said, "Inna afdala ayyamikum yawm al-Jum'ah." The best day of the whole week is Jummah. Why? Fi khulika Adam. This is the birthday of Adam alayhi salam. He was created in this day. Then what did he say? فَأَكْثِرُوا عَلَيَّ مِنَ الصَّلَاةِ فِيهِ. Since this is the birthday of Hazrat Adam, you should read as much as possible Darood and Salam on me. And he said that because inna salatakum marudatun alayya, this day your Darood and Salam is directly placed before me. And he declared the Jummah was Yawmul Eid. Some people say there are only two Eids, no other third Eid, Eidul Fitr and Eidul Adha. So I asked them, what do you say about the third Eid, that is Eidul Jummah? Holy Prophet ﷺ himself declared the Jummah is Yawmul Eid. So why this Jummah became Yawmul Eid? Because of birth of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. If the birth of Adam alayhi salam makes this day Yawmul Eid, what about the birthday of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? You understand? Then Quran says, to celebrate, to send more Darood and Salam on the prophets the day when they are born, on their birthdays. In Surah Maryam, Quran says, Salamun alayhi yawma wulida wa yawma yamutu wa yawma yub'asu hayya. Be more and more Darood and Salam on Yahya alayhi salam and on Isa alayhi salam, the day which is his birthday, yawma wulida. The day when he was born, send maximum Darood and Salam on him. Then in same Surah Maryam, Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam says, Wassalamu alayya yawma wulidtu. There should be more and more Darood and Salam on me. Which day? Which is my birthday. Yawma wulidtu, when I was born. So Quran emphasizes the birthdays of prophets. It is Quran. How one can say there is no significance of birthday of Prophet in Quran? What will you say about these two verses of Surah Maryam? وَسَلَامٌ عَلَيْهِ يَوْمَ وُلِدَ. The birthday of Isa alayhi salam. Make salam on him. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيْهِ يَوْمَ وُلِدْتُ. My birthday, say salam on me. The Quran has emphasizes, emphatically order has been given that you should send plenty of Darood and Salam on the birthdays of Holy Prophet. Then you know, when Ma'idah was given to his Ummah, Al-Ma'idah, because of the day when Ma'idah came to their Ummah, he said, Eidan li-awwalina wa akhirina. The day Isa alayhi salam, when Ma'idah has come to my Ummah, the Isa alayhi salam, he said in Holy Quran, this day of Ma'idah has become Eid for my Ummah, for my followers, till the day of judgment. Eidan li-awwalina wa akhirina. This is Quran. When Quran mentions the word Eid, although it is mentioned in reference of the Isa alayhi salam and his Ummah, but when Quran takes that thing and puts in its own text, it becomes the legal ground for the Ummah of Muhammadi sallallahu alaihi wasallam too. It does not remain only the historical context. It becomes a commandment for the Ummah, for the Muslims, because Quran has mentioned it, mentioning of the old traditions of the prophets, mentioning of old traditions of prophets in Quran, it becomes a commandment. This is the basic principle. So it means that any blessing, the day when Almighty Allah's blessings was conferred on the Ummah, that day should be celebrated as the day of Eid. And which is the blessing higher blessing and bigger blessing and greater blessing than blessing of the birth of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he says, "Laqad manna Allahu alal mu'minina iz ba'atha fihim rasula." And the last question, people, their minds are always disturbed. They put a question that why companions did not celebrate in this way as we do. Why they didn't do. I give you very important thing here, and I hope you will always keep in your mind. You should never forget they were the real ushaq and lovers of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What happened? The 12th of Rabiul Awwal had two significances. Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born on 12th of Rabiul Awwal, and the same was the day of his demise. And he died also on 12th of Rabiul Awwal, the Monday. They would have celebrated in the same way, but unfortunately when Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, when 12th of Rabiul Awwal came, where their hearts were happy because of his birth, the same day they became very sad because he passed away on the same day. So when this day was the day of his passing away, how could they celebrate in that one? The first centuries were in this condition. And number two, the celebration which we do was not the cultural practice of that time. They had changed another day. They used to celebrate, let me tell. Because of 12th was the day of Holy Prophet's demise too, birth and demise. But after a few centuries, because they had seen with their own eyes, Holy Prophet, so they were sad. But after them, the new centuries, neither we saw him with our eyes, nor we saw his passing away. So for the ummah, for the mankind, just Holy Prophet's raising became the basic act of enjoyment and excitement. So what happened? The companions used to celebrate. There was an annual celebration, and that was again celebration of Mawlidul Nabi. It comes in Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari. Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered Medina Tayyibah when he left from Makkah, came to Medina. That was again the day 12th of Rabiul Awwal. Almighty Allah joined three important events in single day: his birth, his coming to Medina, and his holy demise. So when Holy Prophet entered Medina, there was a very big reception and celebration and festival. There was a festivity. It is in Sahih Muslim. And the people, they came there and they had their songs, Tala al-Badru alayna. And the ladies were on the roofs. And the boys and kids were in the streets. And they were in the form of procession singing. And they were raising the slogans. It is in Sahih Muslim, Hadith Sahih. Ya Yunaduna, Ya Muhammadu Ya Rasulullah, Ya Muhammadu Ya Rasulullah. These were the slogans in the processions which were being raised in the streets of Medina. Then what happened? When Holy Prophet arrived there, every year, the same day. Now this hadith comes in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, Muttafaq alayh hadith. It is Muttafaq alayh hadith. Every day, the companions used to gather. They used to celebrate. And the companions of Habasha, they used to come with their instruments. And in Masjid Nabawi, every year they used to celebrate in the form of hufla. And they used to do their traditional dance there. Their traditional dance they used to do. And Holy Prophet saw it. And Imam Asqalani says, this was the celebration of Holy Prophet's coming to Medina. Annual celebration is the Sunnah. It is in Bukhari and Muslim. About the 5 prayers which I said, this is the commemoration and celebrations of Sayyidina Adam and other prophets. Imam Tahawi, I have already mentioned the whole thing, that these 5-time prayer, this is in commemoration and celebrations of various prophets, acts of worship of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. Imam Tahawi he reports this from Imam Muhammad bin Aisha, and he relates this whole thing in Sharh Ma'anil Asar. Sharh Ma'anil Asar. This is one reference for Imam Tahawi. Another reference, Imam Ibn Abidin, Raddul Muhtar, volume 1, page 351. The names of different prophets have been given for various prayers. Sayyidina Adam, from Yaqub and Yunus and so on. So this is the second reference for the same thing which I have mentioned, that all these 5 prayers are in fact the commemoration and celebrations of the various acts of worships and prayers of the Anbiya. The reference which I have given, that Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam commemorated and celebrated his own birthday, and which was not his aqiqah, his was birthday. Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was aqiqah. His was done by Hazrat Abdul Muttalib. It is reported by Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. It comes in Ibn Asakir, Tarikh Dimashq al-Kabir, volume 3, page 32. So this is Ibn Asakir. Another reference, it comes in Sirah, Insanul Uyun Halabi, volume 1, page 128. The third reference for the same is Imam Suyuti, Kifayatul Talib, volume 1, page 134. Again, Abdullah ibn Abbas narrates the same. It comes in Al-Isti'ab fi Ma'rifatil Ashab by Imam Ibn Abdul Barr. The same reference of Holy Prophet's Aqiqah had already been done by Holy Prophet's grandfather. So that's why it cannot be repeated. It was already done. Comes in As-Siqat. This is the book. Imam Ibn Hibban is the author. Volume 1, page 42. Again it comes by Imam Qurtubi in his book of Tafsir Al-Jami' li Ahkam al-Quran. The same comes in Zadul Ma'ad by Allama Ibn al-Qayyim, volume 1, page 81. And Holy Prophet's Aqiqah was done on 7th day after his birth. Comes in, and this is the Sunnah for everybody. This comes in Jami' as-Sahih, Jami' Imam Tirmizi, Al-Jami' Imam Tirmizi, Kitabul Udahi, Bab Min al-Aqiqah. And the reference of Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti, while interpreting this hadith, he categorically mentioned, but this was not Aqiqah, but this was the celebration of Mawlid, birthday of Holy Prophet by himself. This reference comes in the book Imam Suyuti, Hasanul Maqsid, Fi Amal al-Mawlid, page 64 and 65. And hadith has been related by Imam Bayhaqi. And the reporter of hadith is Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He reports the celebration of the birthday Mawlid by Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself. Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Anna nabiyya aqqa nafsa ibad an-nubuwwah, means he sacrificed animals after his prophethood. And then he says, Ma annahu qad warada anna jaddahu Abdul Muttalib aqqa anhu fi sa'bi wiladatihi. As far as the Aqiqah is concerned, his grandfather had already done it on the 7th day of his birth. Wal aqiqatu la tu'adu marratan thaniya. And Aqiqah can never be celebrated twice. Like Nikah is not celebrated twice. Walima is not celebrated twice. Holy Prophet's Nikah was done before proclamation of his prophethood. Before he announced his prophethood, when he was 25, when he married with Hazrat Khadijatul Kubra radiyallahu ta'ala anha, and after proclamation of his prophethood, he never repeated his nikah. The khutbah of nikah was done by Hazrat Abu Talib before proclamation of Nabuwwah. but it was never repeated. Walima was done by Abu Talib, but it was after proclamation of Nabuwwah and promulgation of Islam, it was never repeated. So they say if nothing was repeated after promulgation of Islam, why would he repeat his aqiqah? So this sacrificial animals and this dinner and food, whatever he did, he said, فَيُحْمَلُ ذَلِكَ لَأَنَّ الَّذِي فَعَلَهُ النَّبِيُّ إِظْهَارًا لِلشُّكْرِ عَلَى إِيجَادِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى إِيَّاهُ رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ وَتَشْرِيفًا لِأُمَّتِهِ كَمَا كَانَ يُصَلِّي عَلَى نَفْسِهِ فذلك يستحب لنا أيضا إظهار الشكر بمولده باجتماع الإخوان وإطعام الطعام ونحو ذلك من وجوه القربات وإظهار المسرات. This is the whole wording of Imam Suyuti. He says in the same way as Holy Prophet himself used to recite Darood on him, as he himself recited Darood on him, in the same way he made this celebration of his Mawlid Sunnah by his own act. That this was the day when he was raised for the humanity by Almighty Allah and he was made Rahmatan lil Alameen. So Imam Suyuti says it is mustahab, it bears reward, and it is act of piety, and it is mustahab for us to commemorate and celebrate Holy Prophet's Mawlid. This would be an act of thankfulness and gratitude to Almighty Allah. By celebrating his birthday. And there should be ijtima'ul akhwan, there should be gatherings. It'amut ta'am, there should be dinners. And the same kind of activities which would provide you more love and nearness to Holy Prophet, and which will be the which will explain more excitement on the birth of Holy Prophet ﷺ for the Muslims. So I wanted this reference for you so that I may give the reference. And the last, the companions used to celebrate the same. Its reference is Fathul Bari. Fathul Bari, Al-Hafiz Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. He interprets the hadith of Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, the Muttafaq alayh. When the Habashi companions used to come every year to celebrate the Holy Prophet's arrival to Medina. And the arrival to Medina was the same day that was the birthday of Holy Prophet, 12th of Rabiul Awwal. So they used to celebrate on 12th of Rabiul Awwal in the mosque of Medina. And it is narrated by Imam Ibn Hibban, also by Hafiz Ibn Asqalani gives in Al-Fathul Bari, chapter of the Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, regarding the playing and dancing of the Habashi people in the mosque. This is the chapter. The playing, and some scholars have used the word yarkosun. They used to dance in their own traditional way, having their swords in their hands, in a traditional way. So that is a chapter in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. And they used to play and do this activity of festival. And Holy Prophet ﷺ asked Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha, do you want to see them? She said, yes, Rasulullah, I want to see them playing. And they were playing in the Masjid Nabawi. Holy Prophet ﷺ shut the door and asked her to stand behind me. The word of the hadith comes, Qadima Wafadul Habsha. They came Sahaba from Habsha. فَجَعَلُوا يَزْنِفُونَ وَيَلْعَبُونَ وَفِي رِوَايَةٍ يَرْقُصُونَ. They were dancing and playing and dancing in their own traditional, respectful way. And they were celebrating the arrival of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam Ibn Hajar Asqalani says in Fathul Bari, the arrival of Holy Prophet happened on the day of 12th of Rabiul Awwal, the day of the Mawlid of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Almighty Allah joined all the days in single day. So Imam Asqalani says they used to come every year, and there was a gathering of companions in the mosque and outside the mosque. and the kids and children used to gather, and they used to do yazbenuna wa yarkusuna wa yalabun. This was a festival on celebrating Holy Prophet ﷺ's coming. And Holy Prophet asked Aisha Siddiqa to stand him, and he was standing in front of her, and she also watched behind him from the door. And then he asked, you want to see them more or let us finish? He said, no, I want to see more. This is hadith of Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. And Imam Bukhari has made the caption on Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. And the same day the ladies used to come to Aisha Siddiqa in his house, and they used to play with daf, and they used to sing the songs with daf. So there were many events of celebrations. And Imam Asqalani says that they used to come every year in the mosque. This was in fact the commemoration and celebration of the reception of Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. So these are the basic arguments and evidences where the celebration of Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's birthday or arrival becomes the sunnah of the companion, sunnah of the Holy Prophet, and the sunnah of Almighty Allah through Quranic commandments. I wanted to give you these references.